Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into this incredible world built entirely out of words, Spanish literature. We're going to look at these epic stories about love, identity, and conflict that, even though they're centuries old, might just hold a mirror right up to your own life. I mean, that's a fair question, right? And the answer, well, it's all about how these classic stories connect to us, right here, right now. You might be really surprised to find that the struggles of a knight from 400 years ago actually have a lot to say about what you're going through today. So, let's start with the basics. What even is literature? Well, it is way more than just words on a page, that's for sure. It's like our attempt, as humans, to capture our most complex ideas and our deepest emotions. It's a record of who we've been, which, and this is the really cool part, is often a startling reflection of who we are now. First up, let's talk about this world in words, because that's exactly what these stories are. They're not just dusty old books on a shelf, they are living, breathing worlds just waiting for us to discover them. And this is the key to why these stories last. They really do act as a mirror, reflecting our own lives right back at us. Our joys, our struggles, all our biggest questions. When we read them, a lot of the time we're actually seeing ourselves. So let's dive into some of the big ideas that make these works so timeless. We're talking about the universal themes that connect every single one of us, no matter where or when we live. First up, identity. You know, that huge, fundamental question we all ask ourselves. Who am I? It's that lifelong quest to find our place in the world and figure out who we really want to be. And you can't talk about identity without talking about Don Quixote. It is the ultimate exploration of this. I mean, think about it. Is he a madman charging at windmills, or is he a noble knight fighting giants? Cervantes just nails it. He shows us that the line between our ideals and reality is blurry, and he perfectly captures that gap between how we see ourselves and how the world insists on seeing us. And of course, you can't have literature without love. It's the engine that drives so many of our greatest stories, whether it's this epic, sweeping romance or just a quiet, enduring affection. In Love in the Time of Cholera, Gabriel Garcia Marquez shows us that love is never, ever simple. He explores a love that lasts for over 50 years, and it goes through obsession, heartbreak, and this unbelievable, unwavering hope. It's messy, it's beautiful, and it's so deeply human. It just refuses to give you any easy answers. Okay, our final big theme is conflict. But listen, this isn't just about battles and wars. It's about the deep struggles both inside us and outside that really define our lives. That constant push and pull against society, our families, and sometimes even ourselves. Lorca's masterpiece is such a powerful example of this. The conflict here is just suffocating. It's about 5 daughters literally trapped by their mother's tyrannical rules. It's a perfect metaphor for the social repression happening at the time. It just goes to show how conflict can be simmering just beneath the surface of our everyday lives. So who were the geniuses behind these timeless stories? Okay, let's meet the master storytellers, these brilliant minds who brought all these universal themes to life. Now, these authors didn't just write in a vacuum. They were absolutely products of their time. You had the medieval era, which was all about religious themes and epic poems. Then, that gave way to Spain's Golden Age, a total explosion of creativity in poetry and drama. And that, in turn, paved the way for the modern era, where writers started to question everything and break all the old rules of storytelling. So let's look at 3 of the absolute giants. You've got Miguel de Cervantes, the guy who basically pioneered the modern novel with Don Quixote. Then there's Federico Garcia Lorca, a total master of symbolism who could turn an everyday object into something incredibly profound. And of course, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who famously blended the real with the fantastical, creating that style we now know as magical realism. So, how did they do it? What was their secret? See, it wasn't just what they wrote about, it was how they wrote it. Let's take a peek at the writer's secret code, some of the tools they used to create such powerful work. First up, the metaphor. Now, this is way more than just a fancy comparison in English class. It's a tool for making you feel an idea. By connecting 2 totally different things, a writer can spark this powerful new image in your mind. Take this line, for example. Time isn't literally a thief, right? But this metaphor makes you understand that feeling of losing precious moments in a really visceral, immediate way. It's so efficient and so powerful. Next up is symbolism. This is where an ordinary object suddenly takes on this extraordinary meaning. It lets a writer pack layers and layers of significance into one single memorable image. A classic example of this, one you probably know, is the green light in The Great Gatsby, right? It's just a light at the end of a dock, but it is so much more. It stands for all of Gatsby's hopes, his dreams for the future, everything he's striving for. It's a simple image just loaded with massive meaning. That's symbolism at its best.
Okay, so we've looked at themes, we've met the authors, we've seen their secret code. Now let's pull it all together and answer that big question. Why should we still care about these old stories today?
Because, just like we said at the beginning, literature is a mirror, but it doesn't just reflect one person, it reflects entire societies. It shows us their values, their fears, and how they changed over time. It's basically a roadmap of where we all came from. So what do we see in that mirror? Well, we see these timeless debates about things like honor and family. We see the very real human cost of war and inequality. And, crucially, we see the roots of so many conversations we are still having today about justice and freedom. And that, right there, is the real power. This isn't just some academic exercise. Understanding how past societies wrestled with these exact same issues gives us a whole new lens to see our own challenges through. So, I'll leave you with this thought. Literature is basically a conversation that's been happening across centuries, and it's just waiting for you to join in. The real magic happens when you find that one story that just clicks, the one that feels like it was written just for you. So my question is, which story are you going to let speak to you, and what will it reveal?